We're going to get started in just a minute. If you need Spanish translation, we have equipment in the back. Emmy McCall, one of our community liaisons, is here, so please help yourself. And we're going to give them about 30 seconds and we'll get started. Unless you wanted me to wait because you're avoiding bedtime. That was always a strategy when I had young kids. I would literally call home and say, is the coast clear? Are they in bed? No, I'm not coming home yet. That's how I We're going to go ahead and get started. I know your time is valuable, and we're so happy to see you all here tonight. My name is Karen Fremantle. I am the coordinator of instruction in NUSD. I am in NUSD. I am a product of NUSD. I grew up here. I couldn't wait to leave. Right, that healthy thing, and then I left, and then I thought, a really nice place, and like so many others in Novato, I have come back. So we're so excited to have you here, and we've got lots of good information for you tonight. But just by show of hands, how many of you will this be your first entry into school? Oh, I love it. Welcome. It is simultaneously exciting and terrifying. My baby, my third, is actually a senior in high school. And so I am at literally the opposite end. But I remember sitting here, and I was a kindergarten teacher. But I still sat here and felt like I was so excited, but it was a little bit scary to think I am released. This is my baby. And all of a sudden their world is going to expand in this amazing but way. And it was a little bit intimidating. And I can tell you though that it was an amazing experience. I have 3 functioning young adults. So, 3 for 3 so far. Keep checking with me, but we're so happy to thank you. Carrying these chairs in right now, let me introduce first. This is our superintendent, Dr. Jan Latorre Durbe. We're so happy that we get to hold on to her just for this year.
Hey, welcome. This is an exciting time, and I think you're going to enjoy every minute of it. So we want to meet your kids, we want to meet you, and we want you to be part of the family. So welcome to everyone.
Feel free to come up and fill in. This is so cool for me to think, like here sit the parents of the class of 2026 and 2037. And for the next year, that might feel really far away. And then, no, I'm not even going to say that. Like people say it goes so fast, it actually really doesn't sometimes. That would be a total lie. The years go fast, the days are slow. I will say that is a true statement. But if you want to start ordering their graduation swag, that's what you need to be looking at. So there you have it. Let me do some introductions first. You will start to, once we welcome you into the family through your kindergarten or TK registration, you will start to get all kinds of useful information, and you will see some of these names. We have Mike Saisi. I think he may still be... Mike Saisi is our Director of Student Services. So all things support for our students. I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say welcome to everybody. I've been in the district 23 years. This is my first year as being director of student services. But just some of the stuff that I do is I handle enrollment, intra and inter-district transfers. I do
Hey,
discipline.
Mike, do you think you could go to the mic?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, since you are a TV star.
Yeah.
Nevada
So just
TV.
very quickly again, welcome to everybody. I've been in the district for 23 years. And some of the things that I do or in charge of are enrollment, intra and inter-district transfers, discipline, and a myriad of other things that you guys probably are not necessarily in right now. But I just wanted to welcome you all to the district if you're brand new. I am, like Karen, at the opposite end of the road with my kids. But this is an exciting time, so I do welcome you. I'm going to hand it back over to you.
I was like, I hope they don't look at us and think, oh no,
Yeah,
that's where I'm going to end up. Oh. Also really fortunate tonight to have Emma Donovan here with us. She is one of our TK teachers. We've got Tom Martin, kindergarten teacher. We have Teniat Chima, one of our elementary school principals. We've got Carolina Gage, the principal of our dual immersion school. She'll be speaking to you tonight. We have Karina Hato, who is our director of the Novato Charter School. You'll hear from her. And we have Emmy McCall in the back. She is one of our community liaisons. Each school that your child attends has a community liaison, and they are a tremendous and integral part of our school community. So we call on them for all kinds of things, and probably would be in a world of hurt without them. So we're grateful to have her. The other person, and she's standing in the back, is Karina Leone. She is a woman of many hats, but she will handle questions about registration and intra-district transfers. She supports Mike and lots of experience and is a great and kind wealth of information. So let's give you just a lot of information. This is kind of what we'll run through tonight. You'll hear about all programs offered in Nevada Unified, but I want to give you just a little bit of background on the school district that you are going to be joining. Unified School District, we came together probably 7 years ago now, longer, as an entire staff and went through a process of determining what our core values were and what we wanted for our students. And we came up with 3 overarching goals: our culture of caring, where we feel that building relationships with our students is an integral part of their successful journey as a learner. A culture of competence, where what that encompasses is the idea that every child walks their own path. And it's important that we as educators meet our children where they are, with the supports they need in whatever that looks like: academic, social, emotional, in all ways. And lastly is our culture of excellence. And we have been working hard as a teaching and learning community to build up our system of proficiency-based education, which really for your kids will be, it's a roadmap for them for their learning. It's a great thing as a parent. It gives a clear sense of what your children are learning and working towards in each grade, and I'm sure you will hear about that from our teachers. So these are, when we make things for your children, they are all based on our 3 overarching goals. Part of that discussion, those goals, was establishing what we call the graduate profile. And the graduate profile consists of these, we call them the 6 C's in Novato Unified. And these are attributes and skills and development of a set of behaviors that we feel our students need in order to be successful citizens when they leave us. So a lot of what we do also revolves around these: communication, critical thinking, collaboration, being a conscientious learner, being culturally competent, and building character as a learner and as a community member. And these also guide us in our teaching decisions, in our community decisions, and are a driving part of our school district. Another thing I think has been a real driving influence, I guess, Novato Unified is our equity imperative. We are working very hard as a district to make sure that every student has access to educational opportunities, regardless of who they are, where they come from, what their language is, what their nationality is, that everyone has a voice, everyone is welcome, and everyone is included and adds value to our community. That also means, again, going back to our goals, that we meet our students where they are with the services they need. And that becomes a really individual thing, but you will hear from these teachers that that these kids become part of our NUSD family. And I will tell you, as a former kindergarten teacher, and maybe you guys are braver than me, I cried every year at my kindergarten graduation because they were your babies first, and then they will become ours as well. So you'll hear universal pre-K. That encompasses all preschool, TK, kindergarten. And we know as a learning community that it is a critical time. So I included this because these are some of the things that we take into consideration when we are thinking about your kids. We know that their brain growth and development is tremendous in these first years. We know that they need supportive environments and really positive learning experiences. These first years are where they are learning to be a learner. And we know that that's a critical part. This is the beginning of a long road of school and of education. And more than anything, what we want to develop in these young children is a love and a curiosity for learning. And if we can instill that and develop meaningful relationships, then we set them on the right path in our school district. There are differences between preschool and transitional kindergarten and kindergarten. In preschool, our hope is, and in the preschools that we work with, they get some really foundational learning experiences. What may look like play, and I'm sure Emma will talk to this, provides critical learning opportunities for these young learners. And that is what we have in our preschools. When they come into transitional kindergarten, we begin to expose them to kindergarten standards. But it's still a lot of social emotional skill development, learning self-regulation, learning to be part of a larger group. I mean, how many of you have these kids at home and they're like, Mom, and they expect you to hop? So it's learning patience, it's learning how to work in a group, it's learning habits, along with some of those beginning. And then once they're into their year of kindergarten, they dive into working towards mastery, California Common Core kindergarten. So each piece of that puzzle plays an integral part in helping us to create learners. But again, we have students that jump in from any point. We, as educators, have worked with kids that have zero preschool experience. We've worked with kids with lots of preschool experience, and they meet them where they are and start them on their path of learning. You have 3 options, or you have 1 and 1 option in Novato Unified School, because they are all good. You have your neighborhood school, and on the website you can type in your address and it will tell you what your neighborhood school is. We also have a dual immersion, Spanish English dual immersion program that we offer here in Novato Unified, and we have a charter school. So you've got great options. Not every learner is the same. You have to consider your child and what their needs are as a learner. So we will kind of give you your options tonight, and then you'll be welcome to ask any questions you have. So with that, I'm going to turn the time over to Emma Donovan, and she will through what transitional kindergarten looks like in Novato.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ellen, and I teach TK at Olive Elementary School. I've been in Novato, this is my 22nd year. And we are thrilled that every school in Novato now has a TK classroom. There are a few sites that still have combo classes where there are TK and kindergarten students together in one room. And that is strictly based on numbers and what the enrollment looks like at each site. But moving forward, we're really hoping that every site will be able to have a full TK classroom. Some even have more than one as it becomes more popular. So I think the most important takeaway that I would like to remember about tonight is that you're entering into a community, and when you start your school experience with your child, you're there from TK kindergarten all the way through 5th grade. And the people that you will meet, the teachers at the school, the support staff, they're all part of a family. And you're building those partnerships with them and working as a team to support your child. So in a TK classroom, we have a variety of different types of learning that we move forward through the day. Many classrooms have small group time when we invite parents to come and volunteer, and we love to have you in the classrooms. We have community time where we do circle time, and that's a time where we learn to communicate and use our oral language with each other. We also have a lot of free exploration time where the students get to choose what activities they would like to participate in. And that's a key part of the day when they are using those social skills and interacting with each other and really learning how to problem solve with each other, how to be a good friend. So we explore, we create, and we collaborate. We are always trying new things, whether it's through a science experiment, through a cooking project. Many of the elementary schools here in Novato have the luxury of having yoga classes with Miss Janet, and so we learn mindfulness through that process. And we spend a lot of time outside playing with our playground tools and using our gross motor skills as well. And we investigate, like I said, through experimentation and going through processes and thinking about how things work and how things move. Again, many school sites also do a program called School in Motion, where we start our day off with movement. That is a wonderful way to get our brains activated and ready to learn each day. Many of us have technology in the classroom. We use it mostly as a support tool to help support the students in learning those basic skills, maybe through handwriting or early phonics programs. We are lucky enough to have beautiful libraries at our school sites where we have access to books. And field trips have evolved through COVID, so the transportation is always a challenge, but we're trying our best to re-enter into that. But many schools have adapted by having outside agencies come to our school sites to share experiences. We recently had the Marin Humane Society visit our classroom and brought a dog with them, which was a culminating experience for our 5 senses unit that we had been working on. And we also had a fun commerce experience. We made Rice Krispie treats and we sold them to classmates, and then we donated that money to the Humane Society. So using those skills that we had learned in class. A lot of sites have different social emotional curriculums. Many of us use the Second Step program where we have direct lessons when teaching the students how to solve problems, how to share their feelings, how to talk it out with their friends. So you may see a lot of these images on several of the campuses. One of the big things that we hope that they learn through TK is how to be responsible and independent for themselves. Parents often do a lot for their children, and so we try to wean you off of that and have the students be as independent as possible, learning about putting things in their own backpack, putting library books where they go, knowing what their snack is and what their lunch is and how to open and close containers and all of those skills. So gaining independence and responsibility. So this varies from site to site, but you may be invited by your school site to come at the end of this school year or maybe before the school year begins in the summertime to do a quick screening. This will help the teachers balance classes and get to know the students a little bit. Keep an eye out on social media. Many school sites have summer play dates with the community that your students are in so that you can start getting to know students that your friends will be in classes with. And then most school sites will do an orientation in the days right before school starts. So your child can come to the school, see their classroom, meet their teachers, kind of take some of that anxiety away from those first days of school. So thank you so much, and I'm going to let Karen in.
As you can see, it's a full day when you when you jump into. And we'll shift to kindergarten, and I'm just gonna brag about our teachers. This is Tom Martin, kindergarten teacher at Loma. Both of these teachers are award-winning teachers. Tom, as a matter of fact, was our Marin County Teacher of the Year last year. So we only have the best for our kids in Novato. Tell your friends elsewhere to be jealous. Tom.
So in addition to many of the things that Emma just shared, because of what they do in TK, we also do in kindergarten. I'm through a bit of our curriculum in kindergarten, so you can get a flavor for how we've rounded out our offering. So, as Karen mentioned, my name is Tom Martin. I've been teaching for 11 years. Of those 11 years, all Novato, and they've all been at Loma Verde, and they've all been in kindergarten. It's the last place I expected to be at any point in my life, but I couldn't have hoped for a better place to land, to be honest with you. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. As a father of 2 adult children, I'm on the other end of the spectrum, both of whom went through Novato schools. I'm here to tell you that what Karen mentioned about your first being difficult, being absolutely true. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I guess I lost a slide somewhere, sorry. If you're anything like my wife, and as well, you're probably wondering and worrying a little bit about what it's going to be to set them free that first day. There will be tears. They may not all be your child's. Some might be your own. And we would ask the questions of ourselves, are they going to be well cared for? You know, are they going to miss us? Are they going to make new friends? Well, the answer to all those questions is yes. I find that one of the things I can say with certainty in Loma Verde and all of our schools is that we care deeply about our students. And when you're releasing your students to us, we take it very seriously and develop relationships that, we have. I've got kids coming back from high school now visiting. So as I said, here at NUSD we have some wondering educators who stand ready to form strong partnerships with you for the benefit of your children, both academically and socially emotionally. Speaking of social emotional, here are some of the units that we go through the social emotional program, which is called Second Step. These are present in our classroom pretty much from day one. Up top, although it's in a bit of a different order, there is a chant that we say at our school, and presumably all sites are saying, eyes are watching, ears are listening, voice is quiet, and body still. To the point where once we start that conversation, that chant, they're all joining in, and they're starting to internalize it. It's one of the beauties of this program because it carries through to each grade progressively. You know, it's slightly different, but they're given skills to learn. They're taught to focus. Right now we're focusing on empathy, big word for them, but and not an easy topic for them, but they're figuring it out. Eventually we'll teach them how to calm down with their breathing, which we've done some of already, and then to learn how to solve their problems on their own. So let's see. Karen, I just screwed this up.
I'm not really sure what happened there. Hold on, let's see.
I happened.
Go, these ones. Did you want to go back to that?
Just go back to that one there. Yeah, something didn't come through. It's okay.
Use these.
Which one?
Where do you want to be? There?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. So, as I mentioned, as in TK, we take a deliberate approach to developing our students' social emotional capacity, whether it be through designed interactive play, which we also do in kindergarten, or through, negotiating disagreement on the playground. We provide our students varied opportunities throughout the day to share, collaborate, and problem solve. Now I'm going to attempt to do this. Because that's gone.
Just do that.
That's okay. Something fell off of here. Okay, so talking about our curriculum, we utilize the district-adopted curriculum of Lucy Calkins for our phonics, writing, and reading program. And in kindergarten, they're going to focus their attentions primarily on these elements: letter recognition, letter sounds, rhyming, blending and segmenting words, and remembering frequently seen sight words. I'm afraid to touch this. We also follow that up and incorporate the same program, the Lucy Calkins program. And I recognize you can't see these, but the reason for putting these up was to let you know that the units we cover within the year, launching the writing workshop where they're learning to tell their stories with pictures and then adding words, writing for readers where they're developing their writing conventions of putting spaces between words and capitalizing and punctuating. How-to books, which are really exciting because they get to tell us what they know about. They're actually expanding their writing and they're adding steps to the process. And then if we get to persuasive writing at the end of the year, it's just more writing. They're going to continue to work harder and harder. Similarly, with reading, we tackle what's called We Are Readers, and it really helps us integrate concepts of print, which are book handling skills, phonemic awareness, and phonics that we've been teaching in the other part of our curriculum. I'm sorry. And then we get to superpowers, which is our favorite, because we've seen that these kids, with given a small toolkit, start to read, and then the light goes on. And we tell them all the time that, constantly we hear, I can't read, and our answer is, you can't read yet. And as soon as they start to read the pictures, they're readers. And we make sure they know that. And we encourage you to tell them that, because frankly, that's what's going to get them to the next level. So they search for meaning. They use pointer power, and they use their, what we call snap word power, and picture power. So they try to determine what's the story, what is it going to be about. And also their sound power, which is big. We don't go through the process of sounding it out per se, but at least they can combine it with, if there's a cow in the picture and it begins with a C, they have a good understanding of what that word may be. Then they go on to bigger books and growing comprehension through some games and activities. And then they read a lot. Did it again. Okay, so for math, the big idea in math is that we want them to develop a great idea of behind number sense, because that's where it all starts. So there's a lot of work that we do, of course, identifying numbers, and many of them come in with that. And by the way, I shall say that don't be alarmed if your kids know some of this going in. We've got some really bright kids that come in the door, and they're not lacking for challenge. We just adapt our program to meet them where they are. Counting and one-to-one correspondence takes some discipline, and it takes some practice for many of them, and then we go ahead and compare numbers. But the key up here is in the title, by seeing numbers in many ways. So they've recognized, hey, I can show it this way, and I can show it this way, and I can show it this way. It really helps them to understand what, in fact, their number sense is and develops it. They also learn to build and break apart numbers up to 20, working in teens, using what we call, well, we call them math manipulatives, but to them, they're tools. They seem like toys, but we try to avoid playing with them. And then lastly, they use their number sense and math tools to solve word problems. Some of what they do by the end of the year is truly incredible, and it sets them up well for kindergarten, or for first grade rather. Moving into our social studies program, we have a new adoption, right, Karen? Called Studies Weekly. And it breaks our program into these 5 sections: learning and working together, symbols, geography of the neighborhood, time, and reaching out to times past. The beauty of it is that we can take our curriculum and integrate it through these topics, and it really helps it take on a little bit, even a greater meaning to their development. And then we move to science, a lot of kids' favorite. We're using a program now called Mystery Science that, I don't know if the guy's on TV, Doug, but I think I've heard him on TV. But anyway, these are the 3 areas that our science is integrated from our next generation science standards: plant and animal secrets, weather watching, and Force Olympics. And to be honest with you, if we have a child who's not been able to engage in some area, this is where we're going to look. Because once we give them some hands-on experience, the world opens up for them. And oftentimes we can do these outside, weather permitting. Okay. Oh, so my final words. So as I mentioned, I've been doing this for 11 years. And one of the programs, or one of the courses in my credential program required us to identify our educational philosophy. And I had no idea what my educational philosophy was. I was a finance executive. But I stopped and thought about, well, what did I want for my children? And how did my wife and I, work with our children? And I came up with these 3 thoughts. One, I want them to believe in themselves. In some cases, that takes a lot of time. But recognizing when they do something that they can be proud of, and acknowledging it is huge. Have them love to learn. By the way, I love these pictures. I really enjoyed them. Having them love to learn. You know, if they want to come to school, Mrs. Chima's daughter's in our class, and she loves to learn. She can't get enough of it. She wakes up in the morning and she wants to go to school. That's what we want to instill in them. And then the last one, which sometimes we see students maybe a bit lacking, let them know you believe in them. And if I can leave you with anything as you raise your children, I encourage you to remember these three things, because I think it can really make the difference between, you know, going through school and truly enjoying it and getting the most out of it. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. I wanted to also invite Mrs. Chima to come and have a moment with you, because for so many of you, this is your first experience putting your child in school. But I think that what I didn't know when my first one came into school was it was opening up a whole new community. And I just a couple years ago was looking at our longitudinal, and the amount of, I looked at a graduating 5th grade class, and there were like 88 students in that 5th grade class. And there was still 81 of them in our school at the end of high school. So these are the kids and the families that will become a part of your world and really community. And Tenia has fostered a beautiful community at her site, as so many of our.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tenia. I'm the principal at Loma Verde Elementary School. I'm afraid that's what Tom did, so I'm just going to put this over here. This is my 18th year at Loma Verde in Novato Unified. I was a teacher before I became a principal. And I didn't used to live here. I lived in the East Bay. And then when we started a family, it was kind of a no-brainer that we were going to our kids and have them take advantage of the amazing things that are in Novato. And I am incredibly blessed that both of my children go to Loma Verde, our Novato community, and have amazing teachers. Both my very different, as I'm sure anyone that has multiple children. And Tom and Tom's teaching partner, Ellie McMorrow, recognize that they got out before they entered the classrooms, right? Wherever your kids are, whoever they are, you're going to work with you and be partners in that. What Karen was talking about, true. This is an interconnected town, family, community kind of a feeling, and that's really the charm of Nevada. Mr. Martin, Emma, all of us, we walk down, Karen, and go to the Safeway, and you've got like, "Hi, Mrs. Fremantle," or they're just looking at you like, they let you out. And I was in your, seat last year. I've got a nurse, so I get that. And even though it was my second child, going to my very own school, and I knew the teachers, my good friend, still there's that anxiety, and it's like, you're going from a little preschool to this big community. How's that going to go? Is she going to be able to make friends? And then really the most important thing, am I going to be able to make friends with the parents of her friends? But one of the things that our PE teacher of Novato parent, Mr. Malone, Mike Malone, says is that he has made lifelong friends. His best friends that, to this day are the friends that he made at the TK off and pick up. And so it really is kind of that special time where you get to in that yard, at whatever campus you're at, where you get to talk to that person and you have that feeling of like, oh, I'm not the only one whose child only eats like Dino Nuggets and Ritz crackers for like every meal. That's a true story. And, our communities, we do a really good job of making sure that our TK students, our kindergarten students are all part of what's happening on our campuses. They're young, they're little, and so obviously it's like release into this bigger campus. We have at Loma Verde, we have big buddies, so our TK students meet with second graders and do activities. Our kindergartners meet with, do you meet second graders? The TK students actually have a third grade buddy class, and that's a student recognized. Like they have a kindergarten, they start in kindergarten, they've got a third grade buddy, and then they're in second grade and that kid's in fifth grade and they're yelling like a crowd, "You are my buddy." And so those friendships, or, you have these community events, picnics, family barbecues, and your kids go up to like a fifth grader and you're like, how do you fifth grader? And that's because they're having these connections and buddies. Lots of our community programs had a fun run. Our TKKs ran together. And third graders and fifth graders came out to cheer them. It's like, the fourth and fifth graders don't have experience of being the older kids, or do get that experience of being the older kids because they have these partnerships with K students. But really, it's like that, art into this lifelong journey and partnership. Kids are going to thrive. They're going to be on the soccer teams and the baseball teams, and you're going to have all this interconnectedness, and it really is that TKK yard. And so just be open to it, share experiences, look for just those partnerships that you can make with your teachers, with other parents, and it really is, that's the joy in this community, that that we can go to the downtown somewhere and you're going to meet friends, meet students that you've taught, meet parents, and it's just really that that you build. I'm just going to leave you with this story. I taught for 10 years before, and then I had kids, became a principal, and wherever I'd go, like In-N-Out or Safeway or somewhere, someone would say, "Hi, Mrs. Chima," and and then eventually my kids would say, like, "How do you know that kid?" Or "How did you know him? Why is he talking to you?" Or, "Why is he talking to you?" And I'd say, "Well, that was one of my kids." And eventually one time Zane, my son, asked, "Mama, I just have to ask, like, how many kids do you have?" And I said, "Oh, okay, we got to be clearer with our language." But that's what my kids know, this community where they can meet people and have these connections, and that's what you're entering and becoming a part of. So welcome, congratulations, this is exciting. I get the nervousness and anxiety, but it's a great ride. So thank you.
Okay, there you have it. With our neighborhood schools. Next, I want to bring up Carlina and Eden. Eden, I'd say your last name wrong, so I just always call you Eden. Tebow, okay. You just use the arrow.
You scared us.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carolina Gage, principal at Linwood, and I have Eden Thibault here, who's a second grade teacher and also taught kindergarten and TK. So she has all the information. Linwood Elementary School is a dual immersion school, TK through fifth grade. We currently have 79 students, so we're very, very small. Our teachers are lad teachers, so they can teach classes in English. And it's just a wonderful small community and a great way to start your students off in their academic experience. It's a school that really gets students ready for that the global economic platform that they're entering in the future. For most jobs in California these days, you have to have, so it's setting them up for success. And you'll have little people running around your house, hablando español, a, e, I, o, u, mame, mi, momu, and maybe teach you a little bit of Spanish. You could start on that Duolingo now to get yourself prepared for your kiddos. It just really gets them ready. It also helps promote greater creativity, cognitive flexibility, and the ability to solve problems compared with monolingual students. And And I'm going to let you talk about this and then how your students acquire Spanish in your class in English.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eden Tebow, and I taught kindergarten and TK for 4 years, and then now I'm teaching second grade. So as you can see, in TK and K, we give instruction time, 90% of the time it's in Spanish, and just 10% of the time it's in English. And usually for the English, it's our specials. It's their dance class, their garden time, their yoga, because those teachers generally are English speakers. So in TK and K, the teachers speak to the students all the time in Spanish, and there's 50% of them are English speaking and 50% are Spanish speaking, and each year it goes up incrementally. They acquire another 10% of English until by the time they're in 5th grade, they're doing 50% English and 50% Spanish. I have a bilingual son, and I raised him bilingually, and it takes time and it takes commitment, but it is a real gift that you can give your child. The ability to speak in another language and speak in their own language and be able to communicate in their own language equally well is just a gift that you can give. So we have the students are taught using the same academic standards as they would in English. And we have a real sense of community. I keep on hearing the word family, but it really does feel like family at our school. And it's very small, and our community is tight, and it's sort of a hub for all the community around us. What else can I say? Yes, speaking Spanish is a strength. And it helps the Spanish-speaking families support their own culture and their own communication, and have a sense of pride about it. Let's see. Did you want to switch over? Sure. Okay.
So students will finish our program reading, writing, speaking in English and Spanish. They speak with each other in English and Spanish on the playground, in the classrooms. It's really amazing. I had a few 4th graders in my office today. They got in trouble. And I asked them, ¿Quieres hablar acerca de esto en español, or do you want to speak about it in English? And all 3 of them said either one. So they were comfortable talking about what had happened, the incident, either in English or Spanish. So fluent, completely fluent in both languages. So they develop cross-culturally also. We had a kermés carnival the other day. They learn about different things like Dia de los Muertos. We had an altar. They learn about different cultural celebrations from the Latin countries. They also have many students that come in maybe as a newcomer from Guatemala or El Salvador or Mexico. So they really get a lot of exposure to different cultures, and everything to do with that. You want to talk about some of those pictures up there?
Sure. So we have our great staff. There's me as a minion. We do a lot of really fun things. We have a garden with a garden teacher, and we have biweekly classes, and that's school-wide. We have yoga classes school-wide. We have an amazing librarian and an amazing library, and we have makerspace. We have a makerspace, and our librarian also works as the makerspace kind of overseer. What else? Oh, at TK and K level, it's dancing rather than yoga. But the kids have a really fantastic time, and usually there's a presentation once or twice a year, and it's incredibly cute. Okay.
I've actually seen the kinder do yoga, and I had to cover one of the classes once, and I went in there, and they were like,
Oh, yeah.
It was just the cutest thing. I think that's our last slide. Yep. Yeah, so thank you, everyone.
And next up is Karina Hato. She is our director at School. Another option for you.
Thank you very much. We are an independent charter school blessed to be authorized by Novato Unified School District. Novato Charter began in 1996 and received one of the first 100 charters handed to the state of California. And it's thanks to the support and the community here in Novato that we continue to thrive and flourish. We have a curriculum that is guided by the core principles for public Waldorf education. There's a website called the Alliance for Public Waldorf Education, which will give you more information on what those core principles are. But they really speak to the fact that childhood, especially early childhood, is a very distinct and special time in a human being's development. We speak often in Waldorf education on head, heart, and hands. And although we speak it in that order, really we do things intentionally through the hands, the heart, and then lastly through the head. So students have a home and hearth-like environment in the kindergarten. We do many chores, sweeping, cleaning up, moving logs from one side to the other, and all of those foundational learning and moving patterns really lay foundations for future learning, like crossing your vertical midline and your horizontal midline. Those are really important aspects of child development that we intentionally have children go through. There's a lot of circle, outdoor play, and chores. Kindergartners cook their own snack each and every day, and they care about their class and their community. So the heart is implicitly and explicitly supported throughout the day. We really believe in conflict. Conflict will come to each and every one of us, especially in early childhood, and it's really an opportunity to work through problems, to find solutions, and for children to find selfhood amongst a greater community. This social emotional learning is a constant striving, and we teach the head or the intellect through foundational verses, songs, clapping, syllables, movement games, and whatnot, so that the students really have this very harmonious experience of what school and play is. We do not teach reading explicitly. We teach in the kindergarten. That happens in first grade. So that's a big difference between our program and the other sectors. We have a slow tech approach. We really ask parents, and we ask ourselves constantly about, in this day and age, we're constantly being met with an onslaught of information. And so before we introduce information to children, we ask that all adults ask, is it right? Is it good? Is it necessary? And does it make you feel safe? Excuse me. As I said, we also have handwork, crafts on a daily basis. There are always seasonal activities. The children go out and play every day, no matter what the weather. So rain boots, rain hats, warmth, jackets, all of that is really important. And they live in a home-like environment. The kindergarten classes, everyone knows the kindergarten classes are the best place to be. It smells like soup, it smells like millet, it's warm, it's sheltered, it's cozy, and there's a sort of hum of peace and play reigns throughout. We have 2 teachers per kindergarten class, we have mixed TK and kindergarten classrooms. We've had that program since the beginning of the school, and it's quite common in Waldorf education. When Karen was speaking about being an NUSD product, I was thinking I could give the same speech on being a Waldorf project perhaps as well. But I'm a lifer. I went through Waldorf school, 1st through 12th grade. I have 4 children, and they've also all graduated from Waldorf schools. And I am part of a huge community of Waldorf alum and parents who remain connected, very, very connected. And like in the NUSD community, our families stayed together. We really have a familial community that continues throughout the students' lives. We're a TK through 8 school, so oftentimes the students will stay in that class and stay a part of that class all the way through 8th grade. And I know I taught middle school at Novato Charter for 6 years before entering into administration, and I know that many of those students continue to be close friends with their classmates all the way through college as well. My best friends were my mates from 1st, 2nd, 3rd, etc. grades. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a lot of information for you. If you're a little overwhelmed, that's okay. This is the application process for the charter school. So it is separate from the enrollment at NUSD.
But we encourage everyone to apply to NUSD as well. It's really important because it is a lottery process. And if you don't get in, you really want to make sure you have a place at your local neighborhood school.
So I will just say that again so that anybody at home watching, if you're interested in the charter school, submit an application along with applying to your neighborhood school. The charter is a lottery to get in the first Monday in February, and it's just luck of the draw. To enroll in your home school, you go to nusd.org. You go to our website, you will see it right on that homepage where to enroll. I know that there's always many questions for families that have needs to transfer. You will see right on that page the steps that you need to take in order to do that. Enrollment opened November 1st for this coming year. If your child turns 5 before September 1st, and I'm looking at Karina because she is the knower of all of this. If your child turns 5 before September 1st of 2023, they will be enrolled in kindergarten. If they turn 5 between September 2nd and April 1st, they will be enrolled in transitional kindergarten. That we do, we enroll our children according to birth date. So that is how that will work. If you do, for whatever reason, need to or would like to transfer school to another school, you'll need to fill out that application. The window for that is between the 1st of November and March 6th. So March 6th, the transfer window closes, and then two becomes a lottery for each school. And the lottery is March 20th. And Mike Saisi will do that. He's working on his lottery pulling moves. And verified, I believe, via email the next day. And then from there, you can kind of make wait lists for schools after that. So the kids that they have space for will be admitted to the school. The rest that have put in transfers, it becomes a wait list as spots become open. And if for whatever reason you decide that you want to transfer your child in May, they go to the bottom of that list. But that is the process. And we're so happy to have you. it really is a great community. I would encourage you to look on social media for opportunities to connect. But I would also encourage you to not go to social media for answers to your questions. Because it's really easy to give opinions. But this is your child. So I would encourage you to reach out to us, reach out to your child's teacher. We are most of us parents, many of us are community members, and all of us want the best for your child. So if you have questions, if you have concerns, go to your teacher, go to their principal, go to the community that you can get the actual answers. We're thrilled to have you, and we're happy to answer any questions. Yes, I have. Thank you. Here's your other next steps. You can start scheduling your child's immunizations for school anytime between and the first date of school. I know sometimes Kaiser has windows, so look for those windows so the immunizations are complete before they come into school. We work with families if for whatever reason they come in, they're missing one or the other, but it is a really critical part of us, and so that is important, and getting it done now ahead of time is go. A couple things. We have a flyer. I will set them up here. You're welcome to come and get one. We have got school tours. You are welcome to schedule a school tour and walk through any of the school. Principals usually lead the tours, and they're always happy to take you through the school, and you can get a sense of the world that your kids are going to enter. And then two, we know many of us are working, so Benjamin, who's amazing, you'll get lots of information from her. She handles much of that, has put together before and after school care at our site. So I will put both of these up here when we're done. You're welcome to come and take one. I would encourage you to come and take one. Yeah.
Set up tours outside of the dates that are listed, or does it have the tours outside of the
10 a.m. I think it varies school to school. Call the school and ask about it. They usually try and be pretty accommodating of. It's always me. I was with everybody else's kids when my. You can call me and I will come and. I will sub for you. It's fun to be back with the kids. Any other questions that we can answer for you?
Question. If I've enrolled in a neighborhood school right now, but then I move before the start of the school year, different neighborhood school, am I allowed a spot, or do I have to stay at my old neighborhood school?
I know what I think, but I'm gonna, Karina, when you move one school.
It's based on your primary address. When you go over to the new school address, and you want to stay in the previous school, apply for it.
Got it.
Any other questions? Yes.
I have two questions. One of them is, I know Linwood is a neighborhood school, but me deciding whether I want to go there or not is still up in the air. So, but in terms of the transfers, that's not a lottery, right? Because if you decide you're not the right school, you are provided a different school to go to, you're not guaranteed a different.
Yes. Do a transfer, a regular, I say. If you're transferring from one school to another, you get one choice. You'd like to move, with the exception of Linwood. When you fill out that paperwork, we ask you to give your top 3 schools that you would like your student to attend. Choose to not do the dual immersion, and we will put your student at one of those 3 schools. Yeah.
The other question was, my son has weekly occupational therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you that to NUSD that they use those for special services?
Oh, that's a great question. Are they with an NUSD with an early intervention?
They're in Marindale. My son's in Marindale right now with the Kelly, with the CCS.
Great. When you register, and I even before screening, we will take all that information and then he will just roll into our program, school district.
So
Yes. Yes. Great question. Oh, yes. That one was if my if my child is receiving any kind of services, occupational therapy, speech therapy, whatever it may be, we absolutely, there's a spot on your registration form because we want to pick up the supports if those supports are available in our schools as soon as possible.
Do all the schools offer occupational therapy and speech if your child has, or do you only, like, I know that there's 3 different kinds of schools, that's what I'm wondering.
Oh, are you talking the dual immersion? Yes. Charter school? Yes. I love those. Yes. Yeah.
So for the transfers, is Novato Charter School an option, or is that only through the lottery?
Novato Charter School, the question is Novato Charter School a transfer option? It is not a lottery school. So you enroll at your home school and you do that lottery and then get in and you choose to go, you just let us know that you don't need your spot anymore.
If we enroll for TK, when will we find out if our child is accepted into that program? How do we know?
With the neighborhood school,
Yeah, if there's more than students than.
we love more students.
I mean, is that possible? I don't know.
When you enroll in TK, then you become a we. So there will be a spot for your child. And but I will say to you this: we staff our schools, we make our plans based on enrollment. So it is very helpful to us. The sooner we know for our kids, the sooner that we are planning for we are planning for our classroom space. So you are planning for their future as you enroll them. And so, yes, we will absolutely have a space for them and all their friends. Questions? Yes.
Sorry, if my child does get to go to the charter school, is it like, do you have to reapply every single year, or is it like one?
When you apply to the charter school, when you get in, then you're set. You're set for as long as you want to stay in the program, up through 8. Yeah. Yes.
So I was looking at the website and I have to enroll first just in plain enrollment.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do the district transfer because I don't want to necessarily go to the homeschool I'm assigned. So you have to do both.
Correct. Yes. Both of those pieces are very important. Enroll them in your homeschool. Then if you choose to go another route, that's a second layer of enrollment of want to fill out. But that basic enrollment just gives us all of you're starting their profile for SD. Yeah. Anything else?
We have incoming twins coming to kindergarten. Are there any kind of policies about whether they go into the same class or different? That kind of school-based and then by cross the school?
Yeah, it is you reaching with the schools. And you know what? You can have a 2 out. You get them both in schools. We'll take them both. Okay, that's it? Yeah.
Do you know what the acceptance rate is for the lottery charter school?
It varies from year to year. It depends on how many siblings there are and applicants.
Question was about charter school acceptance, and it because siblings are welcomed in first, so it's kind of a priority thing. So they have to wait and see how many spaces they have, and then they fill those spaces and go from there.
Most spaces open in TK, so just to note that it's the right time to apply.
Yeah. To be in the lottery, I talked about that. March 6th is for NUSD to be in that lottery. Between now and then, immunizations, you can look for play dates, conversations with your student. We talk at our young children a lot. Do this, go there, put this away, put this on, put this. One of the things that we want to encourage our kids is to think and to interact and to converse and to have an opinion and to have an idea and to predict all of those conversations. You are just opening doors to your little learner. Read, ask them what they think is going to happen, play, work on some independence, consider the clothes that they can manage on their own and the clothes that are really challenging. We don't want to up the difficulty for them as they're navigating a new environment, but mostly just enjoy them like crazy, and we're excited for you. It's an exciting time, and we really believe in our kids and we believe in our programs, and we're happy to have you. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and come and get a flyer on our school tours and on before and after care if you need it. And Karina is here for a few minutes more if you have enrollment questions, and otherwise, thank you for coming.